Ladies and germs, boys and girls, today we are having a half off garden upgrade extravaganza all at the clearance section of Lowe's Garden Center. And as always, it's your host with the most, Paul Plant 2, reminding you that Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
Now, if you guys have been following the channel, I have done these half off clearance shopping sprees before, and I put pretty much all the plants on this side of my house in the hell strip because I don't know if this is government property or my own, and that's why I don't want to invest in really expensive plants here. But just to give you guys an update, I'm going to show y'all some of the success I've had with the clearance plants and some failures as well. So I've lined this whole bed with some amazing blanket flowers. Now you guys can see most of them have been blown out already and they already have gone to seed. I'm just leaving the seed heads on there for birds and other wildlife, and so they can drop down and I can have some more of these guys, but they did bloom and look good. Now unfortunately, one of these dudes did completely die back. Another one almost died back, but is still arising. And then my Russian sage is doing great. In this area, which is kind of the area I conquered in my last clearance plant video, the rose is doing great, the coreopsis is looking lovely, and the Salvia leucantha, or the Mexican bush sage, I think is what the common name is also doing great. And now it's time, man, to hit up Lowe's, hit up the clearance racks, and see what they have for me to purchase. All right, guys, so it's almost again live in the clearance section. Sorry, the sun is doing weird things, but I am here for the native plant species, if any that they have, and they do have a couple. So already in this video, I picked up a few plants for my yard, but I like stopping by here and there throughout the week to see what else they add. And they have some Texas rock roses, which are super amazing. They have a really cool pink flowers, and they have just trays of these dudes. Each one originally retails for $8, $4. We tipping on fofos up in here, man. A mounding perennial. These things do bust off with amazing flowers, and then the native honeybees, or they're not honeybees, but the native bees love suckling the nectar off them. So, dude, we're gonna add at least probably like 3 on cart, and these are in like super healthy, vivacious condition. Okay, now they also have these really cool midnight purple salvias, which, I mean, you guys can see it matches the brim of my hat. Sway. I don't know how these will perform. They're $7 a pop, so they're gonna be $4 each, so like a $3 discount. I'm contemplating, but then there also are some black eyed Susans, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the ground. If anything, the seeds just falling on the earth will definitely help, but they are popping from the bottom with some new growth. So each one of these will also be $4. So they have 2 of them. We'll probably load 2 on up and just see how they do. Okay, here's some last ones for the dub that we're gonna grab. You have the pink muley grass, which, I mean, these guys look like really sorry tufts of alfalfa, but regardless of the fact, man, they do put on quite a show in the fall. So I'm gonna grab the 2 that they have. These are small, so they got tons of room to grow, and I don't have to dig a deep hole. These also are gonna be $4. Okay, y'all, I was just about to leave, and right before I departed with all the plants on sale that are native, obviously I had to stop by the tropical section, and they have all of these torch gingers. Now these are like $25 a pop, but I have never seen these at Lowe's, at least in the Houston, Texas area. I mean, look at this dude. It looks like a red rendition of Marge Simpson's hair. And they got the red ones. They have this one right here. I don't know if the red will eventually turn to white like this, but dude, these look so freaking sick. God, then they have these beauties too. They don't even got like the actual name. Oh, there it is. Curcuma ginger. I don't know, it kind of is turmeric-esque. I think I'm gonna grab these. They probably will die to the ground and then come back. I have one in my garden that is white, but it looks really cool, and I thought it was dead, then out of nowhere just popped up in the end of the summer. So I might have to grab one of these as well. They just look so cool, and that's the benefit of living in the subtropics, straight up. Okay, so since I added the gingers to cart, we're going full tropical. I saw this giant alocasia elephant ear on sale. It's gonna be $12. It's huge, there's 2 of them, so I can already split it into 2 different plants. So that's roughly $6 an elephant ear. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy. I have elephant ears, but none that quite have this texture. So let's get it. All right, guys, so there is the haul. Time to load up the chariot, get home, and start planting these dudes. We got hella natives and hella tropicals. I mean, dude, this cart is looking lovely. This leaf is already bigger than like 2 of my heads combined. Let's go. Thank God I'm not Siamese, man. We hit a lick, man. $100 spent, not too shabby for daddy. Okay guys, so we are back right now and all of the plants are below me. I have the hose running and I'm just watering everything before I plant it, just to ensure that it has the best possible outcome and chance of survival, especially in this Texas summer heat. So now that the plants are watered, it is time to get some in the ground. And we of course are starting off with the rock roses. Now I'm gonna plant everything super tight and super close in the bed, just because I want there to be no blank space. Obviously these plants will get larger over time, but I rather have a problem of overcrowding than the bed being too sparse. So I'm just surrounding the back of this Vitex tree with 3 of these rock roses, forming a nice Orion's belt in the bed, and I think it'll look super cool. So let's start getting them in. But yeah, this is kind of the little line that I'm doing.
All right, so we're planting rock rose number 1. The scientific name is Pavonia iacipopetala. Lord, I'm illiterate. Anyways, guys, this is in the Malvaceae family, which is the family that hibiscuses are in, and you can really tell by the way the flowers on these guys look. I have some that I previously planted, and that's why I was so excited to get these dudes in the ground. So I'm chunking in the middle one. They get about 3 to 6 feet tall. They are perennial shrubs, and they can grow in zones 8 all the way to 10. This is a highly drought tolerant plant, and that is why I'm throwing it in this area that I can't water as much, or that I would like to not water as much. But if you guys have rocky soil, they love growing off the edges of limestone. They kind of sprawl and crawl. So I put 2 more in the other bed that are previously planted right next to the Russian sage. And that, my friend, is the rock rose. Here's some footage of ones that I previously had planted, just so you guys get the full indication and idea of how they'll look.
Okay guys, so we have the first plants in the ground, the rock roses, and now we're throwing in yet another native. Now this is not strictly native to the Houston, Texas zone 9 area. These black-eyed Susans can grow from zones 3 all the way through 10. So pretty much anywhere in the continental United States and up into Canada, these dudes can grow. Now these specimens do look sad. They bloom from June to September, but I think if I put them in the ground now, they might have a chance to build up to bloom, and they are perennial, so they will come back once again. But without further ado, let's put them in. They're gonna go towards the front area of this bed, right in front of these pink salvias that I did previously put in the ground, just because I think the yellow will definitely contrast. They get like 2 feet by 2 feet, so hopefully they do grow and fill this area all the way in.
So scientifically speaking, this is Rudbeckia hirta, or the black-eyed Susan. I feel bad for the original Susan who did unfortunately get punched in the face. Either way, black-eyed Susans are very drought tolerant. Don't get it twisted, you gotta water these guys in. They grow pretty much all across North America, and you can make a root tea out of them to treat yourself if you have worms. So fun little factoid, they also are larval host plants for butterflies, such as the bordered patch butterfly. So that further incentivizes you guys to plant natives for wildlife and pollinators to come into your garden. Now I want my garden to look a little wild, like the creek that I saw, which was encrusted with black-eyed Susans and Coreopsis.
All right guys, so the black-eyed Susans are in the ground, and now we're throwing in the pink Gulf muley grass. Now this grass looks amazing, as I previously stated, when it is in bloom, when it is in flower, which is kind of like in the fall/winter. Now it is better to plant grasses in early spring versus late summer, but I mean, this guy was only $5, so we're just gonna go ahead and try it. I mean, it looks all scraggly and crazy, but these guys definitely do get large and fill in. So we're gonna try and hold down this bed with these giant dudes who add a very different and cool texture to the garden.
Okay, so Muhlenbergia capillaris is going in, and the Gulf muley grass can grow from zones 5 all the way through 10. All right, West Virginia down to Guatemala. It's crazy the range of these guys. They get about 3 feet tall. They don't need too much water, which is cool, and they do bloom with the amazing lavender pink color in October. All right, now these guys are used all the time, planted in mass by landscapers, and I had to get a couple to add a different texture in the garden, and these dudes just obviously give that nice prairie grass feel, that Poaceae grass family vibe, which I definitely need in my garden. So hopefully they thrive despite it being super hot and despite them looking like a tuft of cowlick.
Okay, so we're pretty much done planting everything in the front yard, and now it is time to add some tropicals. And one last native to the backyard. Now this plant you guys did not see me grab at Lowe's, but I did grab it at Lowe's for half off. It is a native hibiscus, and just look at the giant flower this guy has on it. Now these native hibiscus, or hibisci plural, I don't know if that actually is what it is, whatever. They do die to the ground in the winter, but y'all can see, hold on man. Now if you guys just check it out right there, there is coloring through the barcode, so this was a crazy steal. They still have these at Lowe's for retail. I don't know why they put this one half off, but I was not mad. Now this dude does require a lot of water, so I'm putting it right behind my pond. I do a lot of water changes and just water everything that's close nearby, so we'll ensure that this plant definitely gets the proper amount of moisture. But without further ado, let's go ahead and put it in the ground. All right, let's check this guy out. See how root bound it is or isn't. Okay, so it is fairly root bound. So I'm gonna try and just not really rip the roots, but just try and tease them out.
All right, so as I'm slap boxing the root ball, let's get into Hibiscus machutos. Now this is hardy hibiscus, and you're damn straight, it's hardy. It grows from zones 5 all the way to 9, all throughout the continental United States. It's found in salt marshes, wet prairies, swampy forests. It can grow in full sun to part shade, but it needs a lot of water. So this is not something for a zero-scape garden. This is something that needs a lot of water in its roots, and it does attract hummingbirds. They have a bunch of different color varieties, and it can grow about 8 feet tall. So be prepared for a large shrub that can put on a huge show in the late summer with hella blooms. I'm so excited to have this dude popping off, and it looks gorgeous already. I can only fathom and imagine over time how it will continue to grow and develop.
Cool, so the pond is just ever expanding with all the plants. The next one we're throwing in is obviously this huge elephant ear, and I want it to go somewhere in between my fruit trees and my food forest along the back fence, just because I really don't want the fence to be visible at all. I just want it to be nothing but plants, and this giant taro foliage will definitely help obscure the view of the fence. So let's find a place to put it. There's just so many options. I definitely feel like putting it right back here because my dog Foxy runs the fence line. That's why I laid down these logs in order to keep her from digging underneath it. But this area definitely needs to be blocked off, and hopefully she won't just steamroll and bulldoze this taro. Okay, first I'm gonna see if I can actually divide this guy relatively easily. All right, that is why I schemed on it. Now we have 1 and 2 plants. We definitely need this big corum more in the ground.
All right, so we're throwing in the Alocasia macrohesa. Now this is a giant elephant ear. They can thrive in zones 9 through 12, full sun to shade, and I'm putting this nice little cedar fence post thing around it so my dogs don't just stampede it and absolutely run it over. Now I will warn you, these are invasive along the Gulf Coast, so if you live next to a waterway, a bayou, or the corm has a chance of washing down a storm drain, don't plant it. But confined in my backyard, it is divine. It looks huge, lush, and can get 10 feet tall.
So we're done putting in the 2-for-1 special, and now we are throwing in the amazing torch ginger right here. The leaves of this feel super soft, so if there ever is a toilet paper crisis in the future, I definitely could wipe booty meat with the bottom of these. I don't think it would infect. I don't think it would hurt me. I think it's fine, dude. This feels super soft though, like velvety leaf texture. And then of course you have the Marge Simpson hairdo just in the red variety. So we're gonna go ahead and put this guy against the fence line as well, just so it will start to cover up and really create a full, vivacious, and lush backdrop in the garden.
Okay, so this is Kumara Orange Torch, and what's really cool about the Kumara family is it's what turmeric is actually in. Now this guy will die to the ground in the fall, but will spring up once the heat of the summer arrives, so it can grow in zones 8 all the way through like 12. Just make sure that the rhizomes underneath the ground don't freeze. It likes dappled sun, full shade, and moist soil, so I have it right against the fence, and that torch looks crazy, bruh. It's lit. Okay, so I added the other Kermera that I purchased at Lowe's right underneath my mulberry tree. So in the summertime, this whole area will look crazy. In the wintertime, not so much. But I really love the pink touch of this flower, and the foliage is also a little different and super cool.
Okay guys, now certainly last and not least, we're throwing in the last sale plant that we had in the backyard in full sun, and this is the Midnight Purple Salvia, which is the Salvia guaranitica, something like that. It's like native to South America, Paraguay, Uruguay, all of that. So we're gonna throw this dude in, and gets 12 to 18 inches tall, evidently. So I have a bed where I did throw in a bunch of wildflower seed, and I planted one random Russian sage. So this is also gonna go right along the border. I water that area fairly often, so I can make sure not to forget and neglect these guys.
All right, since this was a named variety that didn't have a scientific name, shout out Monrovia for the lack of info, I really don't know the zones this guy grows in. I'm speculating 3 through 9. I really just put these in the ground to see if they were hardy, will grow well, and potentially attract pollinators.
And there we have it, man. The Midnight Salvia is in the ground. The backyard is really starting to turn oasis-like, which I love. Just as some random updates, we have some guavas chilling on the tree. The pond is popping. It's covered with lily pads now. It's awesome, man. So yeah, just stay tuned to continually see all the vast improvements we do to this area. I'm slowly starting to creep all these plants surrounding the pond out into this blank space in my backyard, so that's going to be cool. I don't think there's going to be a ground cover. I think this is just going to be covered by nice specimen plants in the landscape. But hopefully y'all did enjoy. Once again, hit that like button. It definitely does help me out. If you guys have plant suggestions, leave them in the video description. A lot of times I get suggestions that I already have. That's fine. I just appreciate the effort that you guys make. I read every comment, and I definitely am appreciative of everyone who stops by just for a little slice of time to enjoy these videos and let me garden with them. Anyways, I'll catch y'all soon. Remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
I'm locked, I'm loaded, and I'm out. Bye.
Killing these songs, leaving a bloody life I roost to. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.